Hey everybody, Sarah here. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing how a financial advisor can find clients online. How does a financial advisor find clients online? If you're not interested in learning about how a financial advisor finds clients online, I'd love it for you to just skip over this video. So the two ways that financial advisors usually find clients is not online. Now, this is all changing, and I'm going to tell you about the ways that you can find them online. But typically, advisors have found clients through word of mouth and through centers of influence. Now, there are problems with both of these methods. First of all, word of mouth is a very passive strategy. In a down market, it's unlikely that a financial advisor is going to get many word of mouth referrals. So referrals I tell my clients to think of them like a bonus. If they come along, that's nice, but you really can't rely on them as your bread and butter. And then centers of influence. Now, centers of influence take a very long time to develop. Probably the best one you could develop is with CPAs. I have material on how to do that. You could just reference my podcast on my website. I'm going to show you how to find that here. sarahgrillo.com. And by the way, if you want to check out my membership, it's $35 a month. But if you just come down here, sarahgrillo.com, and I'll also link to it in the description box, but you can come here to my podcast. I've got all kinds of interviews with industry leaders. And one of the things that I talk about on this podcast, there are several mentions of how to get leads from centers of influence. But anyways, centers of influence take a while. CPAs are often very risk averse. And keep in mind that this is also somewhat of a bonus because many times you have to pay it forward or give leads to the center of influence in order to get them back. So I like the more direct ways. When I was an advisor, I found clients through several means. One of them was LinkedIn, but I'm also going to discuss YouTube and podcasting as ways that financial advisors find clients, specifically using online methods. So to discuss the first one here, here's your LinkedIn. And so back to my membership, I actually have a whole membership that is dedicated to how financial advisors can find clients online. One of the ways that I discuss, and here's more information about it, right here, if you just click on my website, sarahgrillo.com, and click the blue bar at the top. LinkedIn is probably, I think, one of the number one ways for financial advisors to find new clients, but they don't really do it right, and so as a result, they don't find them through LinkedIn. Now, my methods involve heavily LinkedIn Messenger, but you have to know the right message to send to them. A lot of times the message is very focused on the advisor and the advisor's capabilities, whereas on LinkedIn, I mean, let's be honest, we've all gotten that bold, cold sales pitch over LinkedIn Messenger. And I think none of us really appreciate it. You may even have heard of some of these AI or artificial intelligence services that say that they'll send out 100 messages a day or whatever. Not too big a fan of those. I can tell you why in a video that I actually will link below about AI. But I'm just a big fan of quality over quantity. I think that there's no substitute for sincerity. And if you're going to be just spam marketing people, don't expect to have much success. It's not the person's fault. It's not LinkedIn's fault. It's your fault. Think about it. How thoughtful are you really being? People can always tell. So my methods involve using this search function right here. You can come here. Very underutilized. A lot of people waste a lot of time trying to market to their native following. A lot of financial advisors don't really have a big following on LinkedIn. So what I'm going to teach you in my membership right here, or you could try to figure it out on your own, whichever one you want. But the way to find clients online, the way financial advisors can find new clients online would be to use the LinkedIn search function and to use your second degree connections. You could build a very nice business from your second degree connections on LinkedIn. But there's a million things that go along with that. You have to have a nice online brand. You have to have a good finance, like here's mine right here. See, isn't that nice? You have to have a good LinkedIn profile page. You have to have a good call to action. You have to have good thumbnails. All of this I teach you how to do in the membership. Or like I said, you can just try to go at it on your own. Now, the second way financial advisors find new clients online is through YouTube. If you look here, Devin Carroll, very successful. He's got about 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he's calling his channel Making Sense of Retirement Planning. So for those of you financial advisors that think that baby boomers or retired people or pre-retirees aren't on YouTube and don't look for YouTube to that advice, it's absolutely incorrect. This is proving it wrong here. I mean, I'm showing you the tangible evidence. Devin Carroll, I'm a financial planner. Expect videos about Social Security and retirement related topics. Obviously, senior folks are watching Devin Carroll. And I mean, if you look here, he's got great results, 13,000, 16,000, 7,800. I mean, I don't think these are all millennials that are interested in like the latest about the Social Security system. Okay. So, I mean, if you look at him, 404,000 views, and these are just relatively recent too. He's just been tremendously successful on YouTube. Now, how do you do that? It's another thing I just cover right here in my membership, sarahgrillo.com, join now. But a lot of it involves the words that you are using. Remember that YouTube is a Google product. Google owns YouTube. So it's the same thing. It's actually, I believe, the second biggest search engine outside of Google. I think that probably has a lot to do with how Devin has had his success, but I don't know. I haven't spoken with him. I've spoken with other people who have done very well on YouTube, financial advisors who have been able to find new clients online. And YouTube is a way that they've done it, and they've used the keyword function. But there's a lot that goes into these videos and making them show up. So, and the other thing is you could have a podcast. Like I mentioned, I have a podcast, but the biggest thing about a podcast is, you know, unless you're really super keyword optimizing it, you know, you have to build up a subscription base, and there's not necessarily a built-in network for you to take advantage of. It's almost like starting a blog directly on your website. So I'm going to just go over that. Whatever you use, LinkedIn, YouTube, or podcast, this is what you need to do. How does a financial advisor find clients? How does a financial advisor find new clients? You need four things. One, you need a way to get found. Now, I mentioned over here, this guy's probably using SEO techniques or keyword techniques, or I mean, I know other people that are optimizing titles, optimizing the keywords within the blog. How do you get found on LinkedIn? Making great postings, and you know, you would need to be trained in order to learn how to do that. But having great postings, you may say, "Oh, I'm already posting on LinkedIn. I'm not getting anything. LinkedIn doesn't work." Right. I think it's a lot harder to get leads through LinkedIn from the LinkedIn newsfeed, but there are other ways that you could get leads from LinkedIn groups or, you know, like I mentioned, LinkedIn Messenger. I feel like those are basically, you know, kind of neglected, but there are methods you can use to increase your visibility and improve your ability to be found on LinkedIn. Not going to cover those here. Like I said, sarahgrillo.com is where you would potentially sign up to learn that information. Now, the other thing is that you need a reason for someone to want to hook up with you. Most advisors just write very bland content, or they're writing about the wrong things. They're writing about the wrong topics, and then people don't search for them online. So it's kind of like if you have a restaurant and you're serving up all the wrong foods. Like if you're a vegan restaurant, you only serve vegan food, and you're serving it in a neighborhood with a bunch of meat eaters, right? Like no one's going to want to eat what you're cooking. And that's really what happens a lot with these financial advisor blogs and social media postings and YouTube videos, is the advisors are just clearly talking about the same thing over and over and over again. Let me know if you think you're in this category. And as a result, nobody contacts them because they've seen it before. The people that take the time, I mean, if you look here, for example, at Devin Carroll, look at his content. The Social Security gun ban. I mean, who's writing about that? Who's making videos about that? Social Security scams. I mean, yeah, I have seen people actually, talk about that before. But 5 smart reasons to file Social Security at age 62, 3 stupid reasons to file for Social Security at age 62. I mean, look at his graphics here, they're funny. He's obviously got a sense of humor, and his content is a little bit kind of things that people don't normally talk about. Is the government stealing your Social Security money? What FDR said about Social Security, kind of interesting, right? So you got to make people want to hook up with you. And the reason that you do that is, the way that you do that is by presenting really new, different things. A call to action. The other thing is, most advisors will just say, well, contact me if you're interested in consultation. This is kind of like saying, hey, let's talk about getting married after the first date. For a lot of people, you got to understand the online buyer operates very differently. The online buyer is very often looking for information. They want to follow you and get to know you. That's why they're looking online rather than just through referral. If they just wanted someone they could meet and talk to and take action right away without knowing too much about you, then they would just go to their friends and family and get referrals and say, who do you work with as a financial advisor? I mean, let's be honest. Everyone has a brother-in-law who works at Merrill Lynch, right? Almost everybody knows somebody who's in the business, went to college with somebody, went to graduate school with somebody, has a mutual connection, somebody from work, one of their friends. I mean, there are financial advisors all over the place. For somebody to go to the internet and look for a financial advisor or to look for information about a financial advisor, this is where you're going to have to prove yourself a little bit more. So you just coming out and saying, hey, just contact me if you'd like a meeting. You read my blog. Let's contact me if you want to meet. You kind of haven't earned that respect yet. So have a call to action. Maybe it's a webinar. Maybe it's contact me and I'll send you a free retirement calculator worksheet that is specifically designed for IBM employees. Contact me and, I'd be willing to send you our slip sheet for 2019 tax reform and what you need to know about that. So, in other words, baby steps a lot of times with the call to action. Don't always go for the big pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's not really a call to action because, like I said, very few online buyers are actually going to take the action of getting to know you. And so follow-up is really important. When you're collecting people onto your email list, for example, if you can see here, people contact me, they join my email list. When they visit my website, they join my email list. How am I following up with all of these people? Well, that comes back to having really great content on your social media. So in this case, you've kind of already been found. You've gotten found. You've given them a reason to want to contact you. You've given them something to do that's interesting and that will benefit them and not necessarily be that one meeting. Let's say they take the meeting and they don't sign up with you. Or let's say they maybe don't take the meeting, but they still want to stay in touch with you or follow you on social media. In order for a financial advisor to find clients, online, what you have to do is you have to really be committed to doing the hard work of following up and repeatedly producing great content that will entice them over time, over 3 months, 6 months, to want to meet with you. So once you've got them into your captive audience, so to speak, you really have done the hard work. This shouldn't be too hard, but like I said, you've got to just repeatedly, they've already found you in this step. You don't need to do that anymore after they've found you and joined your email list, but you've got to repeatedly now you've got to give them a reason. Instead of just hooking up here, you've got to give them a reason to agree to the meeting. So you really have to have high quality content over and over and over again. Consistency is a really big thing. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed my video. And like I said, just if you want to come here, join my membership, you can receive specific information about the tactics that you will need to do on your LinkedIn or YouTube or getting onto podcast interviews or starting your own podcast or whatever that is. I'm going to find out all about it here in my membership. And at the very least, I would say just join my website and please follow me here because I myself I have obviously a YouTube channel and I've got blogs. You can see here, I've got a great podcast and of course my newsletters are great too. So thank you so much for watching. Bye now.